Just realize that you're never finished. Good morning, crofters. It's Gil with Tanglewood Croft here. Let's see if we can get through this video without the goose drowning me out. I thought we would go through just a little tour of things on the homestead here today, just to show you, for those of you that might be thinking about getting into homesteading, how you have to kind of change your thoughts, your thought process. It's something I've had to do. I've always been the kind of person that, you know, when I start a job, I want to set in, do the job, and finish it. And one of the things I've learned on homesteading is you can't always do that. In fact, a lot of times you can't do that. So what I'm going to show you here is just some of the unfinished projects we've got going on, just to give you an idea of the kind of thing that can happen on a homestead. And maybe you can jump ahead of me just a little bit in your thought process, because it's taken me several months to change my way of thinking about this kind of thing. There's always something to do on a homestead, and you probably see it in other videos, but I just thought I would, you know, give some concrete examples of it. So let's see what we've got here. I guess first thing we'll look at this little tractor here. I've shown it to you before. We've got some broad-breasted turkeys, and we designed it for them because we don't have near as many of them, and we wanted it a little taller since they're a bigger bird. Biggest reason this one's been halted is because of lumber prices, which I'm sure you've heard about in the news. Hopefully this one will get to be finished for too much longer now, because lumber prices, from what I understand, are dropping. We'll go ahead and try to get this one finished. I'm pretty proud of what I've gotten done on it, but I sure would like to get it finished. And then of course there's all this stuff laying here that I haven't gotten to yet. I will be hauling a lot of this off. Had a tree service come in. We still got a lot that needs to come down. We've got big trees that are dying right there. Maybe it'll show up on video. There's one great big one right there, and there's some others up in there. Some of them are going to be hard to take down without damaging the house, so we've held off on those. And of course there's still this. You saw in an earlier video where I cleared out wild roses, and you can see they're already starting to grow back. This all fits into a larger thing of so many trees that need taken down, cleared out, so we can open it up for silvopasture. But also in this area, if you'll see, I started trimming back the edges of the driveways, you can see here. And I've still got, 3/4, 2/3 of the driveway to trim back. Then we got this chicken tractor here. For all practical purposes, it is finished. You can see we've got chickens in it. But if you'll look, there's one of the turkeys. 2 of them actually. 3. But what really needs done on this one, because it's kind of hard to move, I want to put some wheels on it. We'll put a link down in the description to another video that has the kind of wheel system I'd like to put on it. And I want to do that to the other tractor as well that I showed you earlier in the video. So there's the quail. You saw in an earlier video where I put this thing together. It's temporary, it's working pretty good, but it's not meant to be a permanent structure. We're just trying to get these quail raised. But ultimately the goal is to build more hutches like this, and they may all end up going up top where we've got our chicken coops and everything, start centering everything up there. To us, what's our subpar duck facilities. I think I've told you the story on this house. For those of you that don't, we got it off of a guy who had built it and kept ducks in it, or goats in it, in his backyard. We had to take out a section of his privacy fence to get it loaded on the pickup when we bought it, and it is heavy. And this area right in here was a duck pen before we started letting them free range. We intend to work on this up here, clear it out more. I just haven't gotten back to it. I got started on it, got the smaller stuff out. A lot of this we're hoping to turn into one huge subdivided duck pen, but it's another clearing project. Although I've got part of it done, it's a lot better than it was, but yet another unfinished project. And then there's these steps. I still got to get them mounted up. Haven't done that yet. I've got another little project I'll show you in a minute that I do have to get done this week. I mean, it's like I only needed to do 2 or 3 cuts to have the stuff I needed to mount these steps. And it just didn't seem worth it to get the miter saw out to do that. But I'm gonna have to make a few more cuts on this other project, enough to make it worth all the setup. And last but not least is this stuff. I'm gonna turn it into a stand to put our cones on that we've ordered. They're supposed to be in here about Thursday. I'll put them on there. It's gonna be a real simple stand. We can move around and see we even got a gutter I'll mount on there to drain the blood. But that's the last of the most immediate projects. Of course, it's a homestead. There's always things that need to be done, and that's the bigger story. It's like these are a bunch of little short stories included in a book, and the book is the homestead. Keep in mind, if you're intending to get into homesteading, just realize that you're never finished. And that was another piece of thinking I had to wrap my head around. There's a little tour of things that we need to get done, hopefully in the next few months or so. Of course, they'll probably be interrupted by any of my medical procedures that I have to do and recovery time and all that. A lot of this brush clearing, we ain't going to do it in the summer because of the bugs and the ticks and the snakes. That's traditionally stuff that's done in the winter. Plus, it's just easier to get around in there without all the foliage. But we'll keep you updated on the status of these things, and I will talk to you later. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, help us bump up our ratings, and follow along with us on this journey.